Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. My name is Zachariah Yahowdah. I'm coming back with another lesson, prophesying the downfall of Babylon, aka America, home where all the gross abomination occurred. Man, for some reason, man, my videos is not getting uploaded. They coming back canceled, and it's frustrating, you know. But I'm gonna keep on trying. So let's go into this thing, man. You know, I got first before we do this, let's go to the copyright thing, so we won't get no strike or these devils trying all type of tactics to to try to stop the flow of the truth coming out. They trying everything at their disposal. You know, they control everything. So they think in they contorted mind or corrupt mind, they think that's gonna stop them from obeying judgment. And it's not. The Lord sees everything. These some real stupid people, man. They stupid. Okay? And they call us stupid. Fair use under the copyright statute of 1976.
The Copyright Act of 1976 established fair use, allowing limited use of copyrighted material for things like criticism, teaching, and research. This is determined on a case-by-case basis, considering the purpose of the use, the nature of the work, the amount used, and the effect on the market.
Okay, I'm not getting paid. It's strictly for educational purposes. And let me see here where it is. Comment, news, reporting, teaching, research. It's a criticism, teaching, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Okay, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid for this. It's just I'm just doing it strictly for the Lord. That's how I'm getting paid, by serving the Lord. Okay? I'm not monetized. All right? So let's go. I got a video I want to show y'all, and then we're gonna go from there. I was trying to hold the video back, but let's go into it. From NBC.
Joining us. I have talked to you about this a few times because
doctors in Congress. I'm shattered by the news that Renee Good may have survived for some. It is Sunday, January the 18th. I'm Ali Velshi in Minneapolis, where ICE, Border Patrol, and other DHS officers are already patrolling the streets, carrying out President Trump's immigration crackdown with brutal intensity. More federal law enforcement could soon be on the ground. After Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announced the state National Guard was on standby to essentially protect Minnesotans from Trump's federal forces, there are now reports that more federal soldiers could be on the way. Walz and local officials announced yesterday that the Minnesota National Guard is now on standby to support state patrol. This would add to the already massive presence in the state, but Minnesota officials want the public to know the National Guard is ready to help. The Department of Public Safety posted this to social media yesterday, saying in part, quote, "If our members are activated, they will be wearing reflective vests as pictured here to help distinguish them from other agencies in similar uniforms," end quote. This is a hugely important distinction, because for months, federal immigration officials have been patrolling the streets of Minneapolis and other cities, by the way, most of them wearing masks, some in plain clothes, driving unmarked vehicles. You just can't tell who's ICE, who's Border Patrol, or who's just some guy driving a dark SUV. While Minnesotans have resisted the presence of federal agents on their city streets, the Trump administration has expanded its footprint. The Department of Homeland Security has said that 3,000 federal agents are now operating within Minnesota, largely in the Twin Cities area. That's Minneapolis and neighboring St. Paul. Just for some context, 3,000 would be close to the total head count of all the sworn police officers in Minneapolis and the region's 10 largest law enforcement entities. With ongoing demonstrations and repeated clashes between protesters and federal agents, officials say the National Guard would assist with, quote, providing traffic support to protect life, preserve property, and support the rights of all Minnesotans to assemble peacefully. This is what it's come to. The governor of a state is potentially resorting to the National Guard to protect its citizens from a state-sanctioned paramilitary federal force. And now even more federal forces may be on the way. The Washington Post is reporting, according to defense officials, that the Pentagon has ordered 1,500 soldiers to prepare to deploy to Minnesota. The orders were characterized as, quote, prudent planning and came late Saturday after President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act. In a statement to the Post, the White House said it's typical for the Pentagon to, quote, be prepared for any decision the president may or may not make. Goes without saying, but these actions by the federal government are unprecedented. In addition to that, there's more, by the way. FBI agents across the country may also be heading to Minneapolis. Bloomberg reports that in recent days, the Bureau has sent messages to agents nationwide looking for volunteers to temporarily transfer to the cities. Not clear at all what these extra FBI agents would be doing in Minneapolis. The FBI didn't respond to Bloomberg's request for a comment. All of this comes as we've seen the aggressive tactics by federal officers ramp up in recent weeks. Videos of officers pulling people from cars, slamming people to the ground, firing tear gas at peaceful protesters, interrogating citizens, and, in Renee Good's case, death. And now, newly released documents from the Minneapolis Fire and Police Department have painted a much clearer picture of Renee Good's death. Actually, the picture we had was already pretty clear, and now it's clearer yet. The ICE officer, Jonathan Ross, shot Renee Good, who was in the driver's seat of her vehicle, as you know, as neighbors and bystanders watched. An analysis of multiple video angles conducted by the New York Times appears to show Officer Ross firing 3 shots at close range, 1 low through the front windshield, 1 on the driver's side of the car, and 2 through Good's open window, which we know was open because 7 seconds before the first shot, we see her. According to the fire department, that report from the fire department, Renee died after suffering as many as 4 wounds from gunshots, 2 in the chest, 1 in the forearm, and possibly 1 to the side of her head. Officer Ross appeared to fire 3 shots, but Renee Good suffered 4 wounds because a single gunshot can actually cause multiple wounds. For example, an exit wound would be classified as a second wound. But the report includes one fact that makes all of this much, much more disturbing. When medics arrived and were able to reach Renee Good, she was still alive, though unresponsive. Her pulse was inconsistent and irregular. She was not breathing, but she was still alive. This is really important because we know from video at the scene taken just moments after her shooting that a civilian doctor was there before medics were seen in the area. This physician identified himself to federal agents as a doctor. He offered to help. They told him no. They told him their own medics were going to handle it.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second. We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they?
The officer said, "I don't care." When first responders did make it to Renee, they moved her first to a snowbank and then onto a sidewalk to, quote, get separation from an escalating scene involving law enforcement and bystanders, end quote, according to the fire department report. By that point, the 37-year-old mother was, quote, still not breathing and pulseless. Less than an hour later, she was declared dead. Would that physician on the scene have made a difference for Renee Good? Would those few extra moments of medical attention have saved her life? We will never know. But the point is this. A woman had been shot. There was a doctor on the scene, and federal agents refused to let him treat her. Sadly, this is not an isolated incident. Agents have put civilians' lives at risk using more than their guns. ICE and these federal officers are using brute force tactics and tools that are known to be dangerous and even lethal. A new report published by ProPublica found 40 instances of immigration agents using banned chokeholds and other moves that can cut off breathing in the past year. We have all known for years that chokeholds and neck restraints are just not a thing you do to people because of how deadly they can be. We've seen this with many Americans who have been killed at the hands of police officers over the years. Eric Garner, George Floyd. After Floyd's murder 6 years ago in Minneapolis, less than a mile from where Renee Good was shot and killed last week, many police departments and federal agencies banned chokeholds and other moves that can restrict breathing or blood flow. Yet, is ICE reportedly using these things? Well, according to ProPublica, quote, in nearly 20 cases, agents appeared to use chokeholds and other neck restraints that the Department of Homeland Security prohibits unless deadly force is authorized. About 24 videos show officers kneeling on people's necks or backs or keeping them face down on the ground while already handcuffed. We've seen so many videos of ICE using dangerous excessive force on civilians who have been contained. In fact, you're about to see 2 more videos back to back. I'm sorry, I have to do this to you, but I have to do this to you. In the first video, you can clearly see a federal officer forcefully slamming his knee into a man's face. In the second video, officers pull a man named Orban Serrano out of his vehicle. They pin him to the ground. His body eventually appears to go limp. Again, these videos are hard to watch.
Hey! You want to stop me? Give the face! That's his face! Stop it!
That was Orban Serrano in that second video. His family says he is alive. MS Now reporter David Noriega has also uncovered yet another disturbing trend. Since July, there have been at least 14 cases in which agents, either with ICE or Border Patrol, discharged their firearms at people inside cars. Noriega spoke with a U.S. citizen in Washington, D.C., who was shot at by federal agents and said the encounter felt less like law enforcement and more like a carjacking. It is generally understood in America, in policing, that you do not shoot into vehicles, especially moving vehicles, unless the person inside or the people inside are posing an imminent threat of death. This is all, we know all this stuff already. Joining me now is the Democratic Congresswoman Kelly Morrison of Minnesota. She represents much of the suburban area surrounding Minneapolis. She is also a doctor. She's an OBGYN whose practice in Minneapolis.
Okay, I just wanted to play that part. Okay, how much time we in? Okay. You just got, right now, these devils, man,
Minnesota for over 20 years. Congresswoman, thank you for joining.
The Lord is exposing these. The Lord is exposing these demons, these evil people, man. And at the same time, he's judging Jake. We're being judged. Point blank, period. Okay, let's start here. So we are living in a moment where the outer shell of strength is still being projected, being internal, but the internal systems of confidence, depth, morality, and authority are collapsing simultaneously, which is always how empires fall, according to the scriptures. Okay, it said it said where you are watching in 2026 is not random chaos, partisan noise, or temporary instability, but excuse me, the predictable late stage system of a power that has over overextended itself economically, military, and spiritually beyond the limits appointed by the Most High. The Bible consistently shows that when a nation builds its dominance on unjust gain, exploitation, bloodshed, and pride, the judgment does not come first by invasion, but by internal decay, confusion, loss of respect among nations. See, are we not seeing this? So America is being on a life support. Is not a political opinion, but a prophetic condition, because Scripture teaches that the same mechanism used to enrich a declining empire are the very mechanism Yahweh uses to expose it. See, so what we are about to read is a prophetic template that explains not only why this is happening, but how it finishes and why the collapse accelerates when leadership claims everything is under control. Okay? Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. That thick clay is talking about debt. America is over 100 trillion in debt. You know, they don't manipulate the number, man. It's more than what they said, 40 something trillion. It's more than that. It's triple that. It's shit. It's over 100 trillion. So shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Verse 8, it said, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and all that dwell therein. So Habakkuk showed that the first sign of collapse is not destruction, but mockery. Because when a nation loses moral authority, the world no longer fears it. And that taunting proverb is already happening as America is openly questioned, ridiculed, and challenged on a global stage in 2026. So the phrase increases that which is not his directly aligns with debt, see, driven survival, monetary manipulation, and extraction-based dominance, which is exactly how this system has stayed afloat while hollowing itself out internally. Laid himself with thick clay is a direct image of crushing debt and unsustainable burden, meaning the very weight used to prop up the economy becomes the mechanism that sinks it. So it's like we on that Titanic, man. We all on the Titanic. On that motherfucking Titanic, boy. That's what we seeing. I'm metaphorically speaking. If y'all anybody ever watched that movie, The Titanic, it said here, and they were trying to, these stupid people, they were trying to get the rich people out. They left them poor people on there to die. You see, wicked ass demons, man. But that's all right, though. They're going to be preserved because they ain't going head on into slavery. That's right. I'm hoping, Lord, preserve me so I can be one of the ones to go down there and get their ass up out of there, out of them bunkers. Oh, the Lord preserve me to get that body. Because we're going to have to put in work. It said, later himself with thick clay is a direct image of crushing debt, unsustainable burden, meaning the very weight used to prop up the economy, becomes a mechanism that sinks it. Okay, verse 7 explains the sudden shift where nations and actors that were once compliant begins to bite and vex structure that showing Salafi. It said where once compliant begins to bite and vex, showing that alliances flip rapidly once weakness is perceived, which is why geopolitical pressure accelerates instead of stabilizes. Okay, being made of booties unto them means loss of control over assets, influence, currency power, and narrative dominance, not just militarily defeat, which is exactly what declines look like before full judgment arrived. Okay, verses 8 confirms that this is recompense, not a coincidence, because violence, exploitation, and bloodshed already come back upon the head of the system that normalize them scripturally. This means 2026 is not the end yet, but it is the exposed phase where the empire staggers. Publicly, confidence collapses, and the countdown becomes visible to those with eyes to see. See, so you got a lot of people out here that they can't see. They spiritually blinded. They think America is gonna live. America is on a life support, and you got these these KKK motherfuckers that they've been given a badge to kill. I mean, this remind me of how they did us in slavery time. How they would, like in the Jim Crow era, when they were intimidating the poor, Jake, hanging them and shit. Told them if they go to a voting booth, they gonna be hung or burn their house up. Wicked tactics that they did. They doing it now. Okay, ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just a reemergence of what they did back then. See, the Lord gonna give us some bodies. So the thing that they did to us is coming right back on their own motherfucking head. So enjoy, buddy. You crushing our people, man. That's how it's gonna come on you. You gonna be crushed. Okay? Right now you got a gun and a badge to and you got what is it, clemency to do your dirt, but all this shit gonna come back on your own head once the Lord raises us up. We're gonna be raised up, buddy. All of you ain't gonna get all of us. And then the one that you get, when you kill us, man, we're gonna automatically get raised up into that chariot and get that new body. And we're gonna partake to come down here in 1 hour. In 1 hour, we're gonna put in work, and it's gonna be devastating. And I'm hoping the Lord let y'all, all that wicked shit that you're doing now, man, let the Lord just see how he gonna use us to get at you. So enjoy, do the shit, the little tactic that you're doing, beating people up and killing people and shit. And and you small hatters, your days is number 2. Okay? And then and another thing, some of them agents that's come from the IDF. That's over there, that's wearing that ice uniform. Yeah. They was outside my door a couple of days ago, parked on the other side of the street. I went and got my binoculars. Look, as soon as I got them binoculars, I guess they could see and probably had one of some type of technology where they can see me looking at that and they pull it on out. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all because I know my power and I know what the Lord done did for me. The Lord showed me them signs with them locusts. So I ain't worried about it. I'm good. I'm just hoping to be one of them elect. Hopefully one of the hopefully elect that the Lord gonna raise up. Get that body. Let's keep going. It said, this next precept, set of precepts that I'm gonna bring out is talking about, right here it says here, what you are witnessing is not merely police misconduct, immigration enforcement, or a breakdown in protocol, but the visible transition from civil governance into open coercion, which the scripture identify as a defining marker of a dying empire. See? It said when a state deploys mass agents, unmarked vehicles, military language, and denies medical aid to civilians while claiming to act in the name of order, it has crossed from rule of law into rule of fear, ruled by fear. The Bible teaches that once authority divorces itself from righteousness, it no longer restrains violence, but instead legitimizes it under the banner of security and emergency. The refusal to allow medical aid and normalization of lethal force and silencing the accountability are not anomalies, but rehearsals conditioning the public for a more permanent state of force. Scripturally, this phase always precedes greater internal conflict, because when a nation turns its weapons inward, it is signaling that it no longer has more control over itself. See? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. 10 verses 1 said, woe unto him that decree unrighteous decree, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation? See? And it is a desolation. It said, and it is the desolation which shall come from far. It said, and to whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye lead your glory? Without me, they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. See? So the Lord gonna reach out and touch these demons, man. And these damn ICE agents, all these is a KKK with a badge on, coming from all them fucking hills. You know, they be back there in the gun range, hillbillies. You know, back then in the fucking boondocks. You know, like over there in Kentucky. Straight up rednecks. You know, this devil is red. He's not white, he's red. And they be back there on a practice gun shooting, getting ready for the Civil War. But see, these demons don't know, man. Hey, y'all ain't getting no power back, Jack. It's over. Y'all shit is over, man. It's on life support. And all you doing is adding sin onto sin. And the Lord gonna reach out and touch you. He gonna give us them bodies, man. We gonna come, and everything that you doing to our people, man, gonna be done to you. And worse. So have fun. And another thing, these devils, they out here beating up people. But listen, are the devil gonna let you get in the bunker with them? When all hell break loose? When the Lord get ready to reach out and touch y'all via them missiles? Are they gonna let y'all go down there? You ICE agents, I'm talking to you ICE agent. All you fucking, the money that they got, that shit ain't no good no more. It's done. It's done, son. They just printing paper, man. And you got these stupid ass agents